Hey, this is another live stream. This is my second that I'm trying out. If the quality's not good, let me know, see what I can do to help. So this week and today specifically, I'm going to be unboxing the Lightphone II. So this is a minimalist phone, and I'm all about minimalism with a lot of my content. You can see some from my other videos. And if you're new to the channel, the tagline would be family focused financial freedom. So I'm a financial coach, and so I do a lot of financial coaching, especially for couples. I find myself coaching a lot of young families, and that's really what my focus is because I have a young family too. I've got an 11-month-old daughter, I got a 2.5+ year old son, and he's about to be 3. And so a lot of my experience is wrapped up in what it's like to start a family. And so if you find yourself in that vein, or if you have kids or want to have kids someday, then maybe this content's going to be pretty helpful for you. So feel free to leave me a comment below if you have an iPhone, an Android phone, or if you've ever thought about how our cell phones and especially smartphones are impacting our attention and our ability to be present with people, because you're going to see that that's going to be a main focus of this challenge that I'm doing for 30 days, where I have a digital detox for the month of May. And so I want to welcome you to join me in that, especially since it's kicking off tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this live stream now. And today I'm going to be unboxing the Lightphone that's going to help me in this experiment. So without further ado, I'm going to go through some of the statistics and some of the features of the Lightphone from their website, and then we'll get to the actual device. So here you'll see the Lightphone is a premium minimum phone. Never has social media, clickbait, news, email, internet browser, and some of you immediately just hit unsubscribe mentally on that one right there, because you think, how am I going to exist? What is it even really a phone if it doesn't have social media or news, email, or the internet to it? And that's part of the experiment. That is going to be my experience to see if I take this away from my life, if I take a smartphone out of the equation, how does it affect my relationships, my work, and my personal internal life? And so all of those aspects are what they're describing as anxiety-inducing infinite feeds. And so what I found interesting is it's not just about minimalism and control. Part of it is about letting go of trying to control your access and the amount of information you have from all these different sources you're being bombarded with. And so if you ever find yourself reaching for your phone because you got a ghost vibes, you thought you may have gotten a text message, and you find yourself reaching for your phone and nothing's there, maybe your phone has been wiring yourself to, programmatically think about reaching for it for that extra hit of dopamine, those like happy neurotransmitters when our brain gets a reward loop and we get dopamine to reinforce that behavior, that action. And so I'm not trying to say this is something that you should think about as like a condemnation for yourself. I'm telling you in sort of a confessional way, I get that all the time. I get ghost vibes where I think I'm reaching for my phone, and sometimes it's not even there. It's in the other pockets, in the other room. And so this is something where I'm going to take away a lot of those stimuli and see what's at the core root of it. So will I be able to have a phone that can do basic messaging, phone calls? It's got a headphone jack and Bluetooth with it, so I'll still be able to listen to music and podcasts, but beyond that, no video feed. And so I know there's some irony here talking about going minimalism and not having a video feed in your pocket when it comes to YouTube. I'll still be uploading videos. I'm just going to do it from a desktop computer and from a specific time. I'm only investing a specific amount of time each week into creating content. Hopefully that'll make me more efficient, but more importantly, more focused and present in the things around me that are more important. More on that later. I'm going to get into what my priorities are and how this is going to impact it. So the phone uses a unique electronic paper screen. And so if you've ever had a Kindle, like an e-reading device to read books, it's got that to it. So it's got like a sort of matte finish. It's something that as you touch it, you can scroll through, swipe through, type, but it's not really stimulating. It doesn't have like that, the blue light people talk about and talk about trying to avoid. It's just as basic as can be. And I know you can do some of this with your own phone, but sometimes, like any addict, you just gotta go cold turkey and cut some of it out. So here's some examples of what it looks like. It's got a video that I want to encourage you to read. I'll drop a link to this website in the show notes below. This is not an endorsement. I don't get any kickback. I don't have any relationship with Lightphone II. I bought it myself with my own hard-earned dollars. And so it's all about one thing that I wanted to cover, which is utility. These are tools and not feeds. And so the Lightphone 2, it says, is built around a user customizable menu of tools. This is talking about directions, not as an interactive map, not something like Waze where you can play games and have sort of like your character go around. This is just written out directions. If you are old enough to know what MapQuest is, maybe that's an example for you. Back in the day, we used to print out directions on a sheet of paper and have to read them aloud and look at the world around us and kind of orient ourselves. We got lost a lot. And I figure, knowing me and my sense of direction, I may get lost a couple times in the road, and maybe that's a part of the experience. So we'll have to see. Available tools include an alarm, calculator, directions, music player, notes/voice memos, which will be interesting. Maybe I'll try more voice memos and it'll slow things down. A calendar and podcast tool. It also supports hotspot tethering that I'm going to avoid using as a crutch. I'm not going to carry around a smartphone, just tether it with this and then use that as a cheating way. I'm only going to use my desktop computer or laptop on my desk and not tote it around. It's going to stay where it's at for specific times during the day, and I'm going to use this phone just to stay connected and for emergencies. I got small kids, so I got to have some way to stay connected, especially with my family. And so there's going to be other utility oriented tools with software updates, but I think this is key. I think this is all I really need to be able to get through day in, day out, especially for a month. So for the month of May, we're going to experiment and see what this is like. And then you can kind of walk with me through this month and see what some of my results are and maybe try it for yourself and see if this is something that you would want to get into as well. And so here's just a few more examples and something little focus, and it's designed to get you to use the phone less, which is countercultural, and that's something that I wanted to fight against because this channel is all about targeting and addressing some of the forces that want to hold you and your family back, especially financially. And you know what? Like, I hear it over and over again that attention is so important these days. Attention, the attention economy. There are companies vying for your attention. Attention is the new oil that people are trying to drill, trying to get your attention and your precious moments and what you're focusing on. So this is something where you're kind of reclaiming it, because one key aspect of all this is that our phones are not the product that we're meant to consume, even though that's how it feels. It feels like you go to a store, you get in line, you wait for hours for an iPhone, you buy it with your money. You think it's just like any other product, like a banana or a loaf of bread. You buy it, you consume it, and you're the consumer. But the reality, and this is, I think, from Seth Godin, who defined ourselves as the product, and our phones are just the vehicle for advertisers to essentially buy our attention. We're the product that the phone is a tool to get to us, not the phone as a tool to get to all the services and feeds out there, all those timelines, Instagram feeds, Facebook feeds, YouTube feeds. I'm probably just going to get, this stream right here is just going to go into oblivion, down, because I just listed all those names. But it's important to acknowledge all those, not as what we're meant to consume, but that those are just vehicles to then consume us. All those advertisers out there are vying for our precious, eye moments that we're looking into, our internet lives. And so this device is designed to help reclaim our attention and to actually use it less as a way to, become more present and aware of those around us. And that really dovetails into some of the key aspects that I hope to see as I go into this challenge for 30 days. So starting May 1st, I'm going to go into a 30-day digital detox challenge. And this was actually inspired by our whole church is going through this. And so I go to a church called Church of the City here in Franklin, Tennessee. And our whole church is going to be going through this digital detox through May. And I'm going to invite you to do the same. And if you want to participate, for 30 days, starting whenever you'd like to, make sure to look at some of these videos as I'm going to be putting out throughout this week to kind of see my experience, and you can kind of track along with me. But there's 3 areas that I wanted to address that I think is going to be most impacted. And we'll see if this is true when I come out on the other end. But the first area that I expect to see a big impact in my life is personally. So I want to learn more where I spend my time. And I think that I'll get more awareness of that as I go through a digital detox over the next 30 days. And, the best example I can come up with, which is such a dad thing, is that, it's like when I'm in the bathroom and just scrolling mindlessly because it's like my only alone time. And you've seen the memes, you've seen it like on TV where this is where dads like, go to escape for 20 minutes. And I got a sense that, those will be like 5-minute moments if I don't have a smartphone. And so, maybe I'll have better circulation in my legs by the end of this 30 days. And so that's one thing that I'm sure my wife will appreciate. The second thing that I think will happen with a 30-day digital detox is I think that I'll have higher engagement and presence with my own family. And so instead of having background noise with a television or with a smartphone or with having headphones on while I'm doing a task like doing the dishes, by eliminating a lot of those stimuli, I think I'll be more present, and it'll manifest in healthier relationships with my own family and with my kids. The other side of that is not outsourcing or co-parenting with a smartphone device when my son is getting a little squirrely and we're out in public. Instead of just throwing him the phone and saying, here, play a game, I'm going to eliminate that opportunity, and instead I'm going to have to physically be there and be more present. I think it's something we can all improve on. And the third way that I think that a 30-day digital detox is going to affect my life is in my work-life balance. And so I think that it's going to create specific boundaries with work where I won't be getting those notifications, and I won't mentally get derailed by an email that comes in for work or a text message, something that, I'll still get text messages, but it won't be as stimulating, and it won't be, colorful. There won't be, videos, images, GIFs, all that's going to be eliminated, and it'll be purely for communication. And I think that lack of stimuli is going to make my brain, hopefully over the course of 30 days, be less interested in that and more interested in when that work-life balance stops and my time with family and myself at home begins. And so those are the 3 ways that I think that with a 30-day challenge, I'm going to experience some positive things with a digital detox. And this is an experiment. So after 30 days, we'll see how those 3 play out, and I look forward to like new and exciting ways. So if you're curious more about the Lightphone, it's $300 retail, or like $299, and I'll again drop a link below so that in the show notes so you can see where I got it from. This is an endorsement. I don't get any kickback from Lightphone, but it should be a good experiment, and it's something I've been looking at for a long time. So their tagline is a phone for humans, and their emphasis is on how we've become the product and not necessarily the product itself. So I'm going to switch this down here. You're going to get a chance to look at my 50% clean desk. All right, so let's see if they'll focus on that. Maybe after this Lightphone, I'll buy a second camera so you can look down at my desk. All right, so if you see that, it says a phone for humans if it's not reversed. And so I'll go ahead and open this up. Its packaging is almost like a book. It's got plastic around it, and then I love good minimalist packaging too. If you're gonna have a minimalist product, you might as well have a good minimalist package to go along with it. So there's a pull tab. I'm gonna open this up real quick. Get that away so I don't get downgraded on the feed. Oh, enjoy now. It says the Lightphone is going light. It's a choice. How you experience your life today. Appreciate time. Life is right now. Much love, Light. So here's a user guide. It's about as simple as can be. So one aspect of the Lightphone is that you can pop your SIM card in and just about any carrier out there will work with the Lightphone. It's incredibly small. This is humbling right here. So if you had to compare it with my hand, you know, that's actually a good shot right there that I'll probably like screenshot how small it is compared to a normal phone. So here's like a normal Pixel Android phone right here. So it's going to be significantly smaller, and it's light too. It's literally light, and not just in function but in form as well. So as I go through this process, you'll get to kind of experience what it's like to open one up. You know, it really does feel like a Kindle. You know, it's got that matte finish on the top where you would be typing and texting. The thing is, all right, so my thumbs are pretty big. And so I'm 6'2", like just right at 200 pounds. So, you know, my thumbs are going to be just absolutely engulfing this little screen. But maybe that's part of it. The less interested I am in using the phone, the more, you know, productive this experiment will be. There are some other things to consider. As I look at this phone that I'm unboxing, and I see that, like, I see my Garmin watch. I have like a relatively minimalist fitness watch. So this is a Garmin watch that has a small little LCD screen behind the two hands of the clock. And so I'm able to still track my fitness and my health and sleep and everything. But this is one thing where I'll just have to Bluetooth pair this with my laptop and focus on that as a way to connect a lot of these devices that I used to just default connect with my phone. And if you've, you know, listened to me talk about any of our other devices in our home, the reality is that we have a lot of, you know, we have a lot of devices that run off of Google's home service. And so that'll be a challenge for me, just having to go through and that was humbling right there. I'm just like inserting it into the microphone instead of the actual SIM slot. So yeah. So hopefully just every other SIM card like anyone you've ever seen before. All right. Again, this phone is so light and so small that I hope that that's not like the biggest takeaway from this whole experience, is that it's just so small. All right, so I'm gonna hold the power button and see if it comes with enough power to be able to power it up, but I may have to plug it in, which is totally fine. All right. If you're interested in the Lightphone, or if you, especially if you used one before, then please feel free to let me know in the comments if you have any feedback, because this is a new experience for me. And if it's something that you're interested in, and I'd like to hear you go through this experience as well. And I feel like not very many people are going to stumble upon the Lightphone. Like, it's not necessarily something that you you know, you're just like, maybe I'll just test this out. I feel like you have to already be wanting to go through a minimalist experience, or you already feel challenged by your use of technology if if you're going to be exploring a device like this. So it says the power button's right on the top there. I've got it plugged into my computer. This would be great if it, like, for some reason doesn't work right on the get-go. All right, well, we'll go through some of the different features that it has as I go through some of the details. I imagine I shouldn't show too much of the device's information as I live stream it online. Okay, I can see that the LCD screen is lighting up, so I think it's just getting enough power to start turning on. I'll go through and have a few examples of how this has been effective for me. over the course of this month. And again, if you have any curiosity about minimalism, how it can impact your family, how it can impact your personal life, then check out the rest of my videos on my channel, and especially as it impacts your finances, because I'm very interested in how financial stress is a big motivator for the other stresses in our life. And if we can really tackle that, it tends to spill over into other areas of our life, and we find more peace and more freedom. So that's what the goal here is to help you find more financial freedom with your family. So if you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe, please hit like, and go ahead and find some of those videos, and let me know what you think about them. Give me your feedback there, because I'd like to see what you think I should be challenging myself with next.